Hi, everyone. I'm David Kelly. I'm the Program Director for the eLearning Guild, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to another Twist Conversation. Today, I'm pleased to be welcoming Ted Henning from Athena Health, and today we're going to be talking about managing content within an organization. Welcome, Ted.
Thanks. Glad
Thanks
to
so
be.
much. Glad to have you. Before we get started, can you just take a moment and introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. I'm, like I said, Ted Henning. I work at Athena Health, which is a cloud-based electronic health record, electronic medical record company. We're based in Watertown, Mass, and I'm the senior manager of product education. So my team's responsible for all of the e-learning, release notes, online help, informational webinars, things like that. So basically, all sort of client-facing training.
Excellent. And I know one of the challenges that a lot of organizations deal with is the volume, the sheer volume of content that they have to work with, and that everyone's got their own content and all these different silos and such. And I know that that's a challenge that you've had to work around. Can you give me an idea of some of the things that you do with this challenge? First of all, can you articulate that challenge for me, and then give me an idea of what you do to deal with it?
Yeah, it's just the plethora of content that we have now. I know a lot of companies are going through the same thing. You have just from our standpoint, we have e-learning courses and documents and quick start guides and ILT decks and just a ton of content. And then throughout the company, we also have just a variety of marketing materials and in-house content, client-facing content. So it's really this kind of just crazy cornucopia of stuff. And the real challenge is getting the right document or the right piece of content to the right person at the right time. And so we have a lot of trouble with curation because someone might have a document that's on their desktop. Bob wants to borrow it. Oh, that's good. He changes it for his client, sends it to his client, and so all of a sudden you get 17 versions of the same thing. SharePoint right now looks like this, this crazy. You search on there, you get 45 versions of a deck. No one knows what's current. So one of the things that we did this year is to implement an LCMS, a learning content management system. And what this has allowed us to do, we're still in the implementation phase, but what this has allowed us to do is it allows you to break down the content into manageable chunks, which you can then, it's sort of single source in, you can use in multiple places. So let's say we have product marketing has written up some great work on a particular product of ours. And I want to be able to bring that into a course, not as a salesy way, but just in a way to sort of inform users, inform clients of what this does, right? And then in online help, there's a great chunk of sort of step-by-step instructions. Right now, all those pieces exist in various silos, and these tools don't talk to each other, and they're different formats. And what the LCMS allows us to do is to bring all that content into a single place, break it down into the chunks that we want it to do, what we want to use it, and then combine it any way we want to. So the first thing we were able to do with it is our e-learning courses. We had about 100 e-learning courses, and they basically all were in Flash, and they were stuck in this sort of Flash wrapper. So you might have 3 or 4 demos, simulations inside the Flash wrapper, but I couldn't send one demo to one person, right? I would have to say, go to the Learning Portal, look at this course, look at lesson 4, and that's and that's just not very helpful. I also couldn't use those pieces in other courses, right? I would have to grab them and manually put it in, and then zip it up and put it up to the Learning Portal. So what this allows us to do is break down all those courses into individual components, and then I build the courses from each of those components. And then the great advantage is that it dynamically delivers that course to the LMS through an AICC connection. So I no longer have to zip up a scoring package and upload it to the LMS, but instead I can make one change in the course, put it into the LCMS, and automatically anywhere that content appears, it changes. So it's been again, we're really just in the early throes of this, but so far it's proven very helpful a couple of times, real lifesaver a couple of times.
So I know a learning management system is something that most people who are working in the e-learning field are familiar with in some way. Because if you're working in e-learning, chances are you have some sort of a learning management system to host your content. But an LCMS is something that is different, and I can see based on what you were describing how it can enhance the work that you're doing. Can you give me an idea of how this might have changed your approach from both a content strategy or even possibly designing of content now that you've started to use this LCMS in conjunction with the learning management system?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because when we started to bring on the LCMS, the first thing was, well, we have an LMS, right? So just sort of there was some change management involved, just sort of bringing people up to speed of what an LCMS does and what it is. And it's a content management system, right? And it allows you to take learning content, especially designed for learning content, and take that and distribute it any way you want. And what it's really allowed us to do is to free up our designers to think more holistically in terms of what they build, right? Because I can deliver smaller chunks, right? So I don't have to have this 45-minute e-learning course. I can deliver targeted, personalized, customized learning to specific groups, right? So let's say we have small group practice and we have enterprise. Right? They have different experiences and they have different training needs. So I can take some of that material and target it towards small groups, and other material and target towards the enterprise groups, which makes their onboarding experience just much better. It also allows us to do we have an internal training group called Athena University, and they do a lot of work with they train internally, right? So they train compliance training and onboarding internally, as well as training trainers and things like that. So they have a lot more sort of ILT decks and things like that. And we up until this point, we really haven't been able to work together that well, even though we're both creating content. We haven't been able to work that closely together because everything is in its own little box, in its own little silo. So they're going to start creating their decks and their content in the LMS, and they can then draw on our content to build their content. We can draw on their content to build ours. And again, the beauty is, you update a piece of material once and update it everywhere it exists. So and you can use that same material to create a quick start guide and a course and an online help all at the same time, the same piece of material. So it's really kind of cool.
That is excellent, and it speaks to an efficiency that we've been lacking within our industry for quite some time.
Yeah, it does. It's still early though. So I mean, again, we're still just sort of figuring out what the tool can do. Of course, there's attributes that we thought it could do that doesn't quite do as elegantly as we had hoped. And working with the vendor has actually been really helpful to try to get us to where we need to go. But yeah, it's as the training departments grow, as we start to sort of get away from that idea of e-learning is everything, and more toward that idea of performance support, which we're very excited about. This will allow us to curate more material, reuse more material. I mean, one thing we want to do with this as well, slight tangent, is directly for performance support. We want to be able to have these little chunks that we may use in a course and may use in a ILT deck, but also be able to feed that directly to a user at the time of need. Right, so that's the same material. So if I'm working in AthenaNet and all of a sudden I get to a place I don't know, that material exists in online help. But for me to go to online help, I have to go to online help. I got to figure out what I got to search. Right, if I can take that contextual information, right, everything in the LCMS is tagged with metadata, and I can use that contextual information of who I am, where I am, what process workflow I'm doing. And use that to go surface that help material directly to the user when they need it. I mean, it's revolutionary.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying we're there yet. That's sort of the vision.
Well, and I like the fact that you ended with that, because one of the things that I like, my favorite types of sessions at a conference are the ones that are kind of like, we went down this path. We hit barriers, we made mistakes, we had success. We're going to share that story with you so that you can learn from that. because they tend to be the most powerful types of case studies for me, and I know for a lot of the people that attend conferences. So I know that you're going to be sharing a lot of that story when you come to DevLearn this October. If I'm going to be attending your session, can you give me an idea of what I can expect?
It's basically, it's going to be a straight out case study. It's going to say, this is what caused us to get the LCMS. This is the process we went through. These are the various things we were looking for. This is where we are. I mean, it's literally going to be, I'm going to take you up to, I speak on October 30th, I think. I'm going to take you up to October 29th of where we are in the process, and I certainly will give my thoughts on what worked and what didn't, what we have left to do, what we've been able to try, or we just haven't had the resources to try yet. It's on the plan. But it's going to be it's going to be one of those that focusing on what we've done, what we've tried to do, and where we want to go, and hopefully people can glean from that, how it would affect them in their particular position, and for their workflow, because obviously not everybody's situation or companies are set up the exact same way, but I think any of these sessions that are real sort of case studies, you can pull nuggets from and go, oh, you know what, I get that. That works for me, and that's what I'm gonna try to impart.
It sounds excellent, and I think with where we are as an industry and what the need for us to deliver things quickly and curate more content and be able to reuse content, it's where the direction is going. So people who are going to be interested in learning more about that definitely should be interested in attending your session in October.
Bring them on.
Thank you. Well, if you want to learn more about TED's session or any of the sessions that are going on at DevLearn this October, please do visit our website, devlearn14.com. The DevLearn Conference and Expo takes place October 29th through 31st at the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas. We have Neil deGrasse Tyson headlining a great keynote lineup and over 120 different learning activities, including TED session and a number of other great sessions throughout the conference. So if you want to learn more, visit our website, devlearn14.com. Ted, I want to thank you so much for spending some time talking about content strategy and LCMSs with me today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you either in October at DevLearn or next time online during Twist Conversations. Take care, everybody.